few words, but I have them for later, really. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Except that your weather's very beautiful up here.
Wow. Can you tell us about Ride and why, how you were inspired by that?
Yeah, I've written a movie called Ride. I have one day left of photography, which is Thursday. I wrote it and I'm directing it. And I play a sort of very type A editor of New Yorker magazine who lives on her BlackBerry and her devices and lives through her 23-year-old son, largely, who's going to NYU and is very invested in him becoming a writer and living a life of academia. And he leaves New York for the summer to be with his father and his father's family and surf and relax, and he calls his mother, played by me, and says, I'm dropping out of school and I'm going to surf and enjoy my life. And she finds that horrifying and jumps on a plane. I'm going to say a little of this later, so prepared for boredom later. And he basically says to her, until you stood up on a surfboard, don't talk to me. So the movie's about this very unlikely woman learning how to do this sort of challenging, often demoralizing sport, and what happens to the mother-son relationship. It's sort of an empty nest gone wild story. So that's that.
Did you handpick Luke Wilson?
Did I handpick Luke Wilson? It sounds so intimate. I asked him to be in the movie and he said yes, so yes. And there's a young actor playing my son named Brenton Thwaites, who's about to star in this movie, The Giver. So I think it's 4 minutes until he's too famous to even talk to me, but I got him to play my son. He was great.
Do you surf?
Mediocrely. I surf mediocrely, but I love it, except when I hate it, which is what the movie's about. Yeah. Sort of about, you know, no matter how much brain power you have, Mother Nature is bigger. There are things bigger than us. Anybody else? You'll hear my whole spiel in a while, so.
Is this your first movie?
No, I wrote and directed a movie called Then She Found Me with Bette Midler and Colin Firth and Matthew Broderick. And I'd be very proud if you Netflixed or whatever it's called. And that's also a story about mothering. I play a woman adopted at birth and raised by two parents who passed away, and Bette Midler is my birth mother who finds me, and then there's a sort of love triangle with the two men, so this is my second one. Yeah.
How was Bette Midler to work with?
She was fiery and amazing and so talented, you can barely get in the room with her. She was loaded with talent. Anybody else?
Are you going to continue to take on projects that you are writing and directing versus starring?
I mean, I hope to do both. I've never had to choose, luckily, you know. I did TV at a time when you weren't supposed to do TV if you wanted to be in movies, and then I've been able to not choose. I've been directing some television. I did an episode of Revenge last year, for any of you who have the guilty pleasure of Revenge. I do too. And I was meant to do another one this year, and then this movie happened, so I'm going with not choosing and doing all of it if I can.
So, Soul Surfer, this movie, so Hawaii, has that an impact on you? Do you love Hawaii?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love, you know, a balmy breeze in the ocean? But this movie is very much about sort of, well, like I said, that there are things out there bigger than us. Even when very fierce things happen, can we love the world anyway? And that's sort of the theme of the movie. So yes, I've stumbled onto a surfboard at age 40, and I'm still stumbling, but it seems to have gotten into my skin because I'm writing about it, flailing around in the ocean.
What's on your bucket list?
Sleeping. Bucket list. Traveling. I do, you know, philanthropic sort of volunteer stuff, but finding a bigger way to do that.
What do you find most rewarding about your career choice?
The connections with people that I've found. I mean, right now I've gotten to work with a cameraman on directing this movie, which for me is really great fun. Acting is sort of all-encompassing in a different way, but getting to use this part of my brain to actually construct the way the movie's going to be shot, that's been really, really fun. And so, you know, like everything, it's the people that you connect with.
You mentioned Helen. What areas are you most passionate about?
I've done some work with Global Green, the environmental network. They've done incredibly inspiring things. They have a program where schools all over the country can submit their idea for greening their school, and then they pick one and step in and fund that. They were part of the rebuilding of New Orleans those years ago, so I'm a big fan of theirs. There's a solar energy company called Sungevity that I work with, which I suggest everybody in this room go to sungevity.com, and you just can't believe how easy it is and how it actually doesn't cost anything, because they've got this solar lease program. So I'm helping them put that into schools, so they give an incentive to any family who goes solar, any parents or grandparents of kids in schools that go solar. And you can't, I try to stand there and explain to people that it actually will not cost them anything, and they go, yeah, but what do the panels cost? You're not paying anything, you're leasing them. And 100% of people who do this save money over the 10 years of the lease. Most people save money right away, but 100% save money over the 10-year lease.
You're in that industry.
Yeah, you're in that industry. Why am I telling you that?